here is the quote we're kicking today's episode off with. So keep your head high, keep your chin up, and most importantly, keep smiling, because life's a beautiful thing, and there is so much to smile about. That is said by Marilyn Monroe. What a babe. And a nice quote to start off this episode. This episode is going to be titled and called Everybody's Been Through Something. Everybody has been through something. That is not to lesser anybody's, what anyone's gone through, just hey, everyone's gone through something. So what you're going through is bullshit. Who cares? Everybody's been through something, and there's a lot to learn from that. And this podcast was actually, I was going to do something else, but on the way here, every time I come to my studio, on my drive to my studio, I listen to a podcast, whether that's Bigger Pockets podcast, my real estate podcast, whether it's Philosophize This by Stephen West. Talk about that several times. That's one I really, really recommend. If you're into real estate, Bigger Pockets podcast, really good real estate podcast. But if you're into this show, try Philosophize This by Stephen West. You will like it. But anyway, another one I listen to often is called Ear Biscuits by my mans, Rhett and Link. I love those guys. And they were talking about therapy. And in one of the ones, in this episode, Rhett was specifically talking about how everybody's been through something. Everybody has really been through something, and what each individual has been through is exactly why they are who they are. It explains exactly why they are who they are. That's what I'm trying to say. What everybody's been through, what every individual has been through, whatever certain specific things each person has been through, that makes up who we are today and why we are who we are today. And it was just really, really good. And he talked about how we create based on what we did. When we went through as kids, we make all these defense mechanisms. Like I talked about before on the episode of trust, and I talked with Dawson Pittman. I can't remember another one, but I asked him about trust because he shared it. He has divorced parents, and I have a lot of friends with divorced parents, and a lot of them had really big trust issues. And I consider myself a very trustworthy guy. Especially if you give me everything you got as a friend, I will give you everything Marsha's got, man. I just truly believe that. You give me all, your all, I will give you my all. And I tried giving all my friends their all, but I wasn't seeing them give their all. But I didn't take it very personal because I could tell there was something lingering. They maybe wanted to give me their all, but they couldn't. Why is that it? Why is that? Because in their past, the two people that every single child, right? We're all children. The two people, every person in this world would love to trust, and innately we need to trust, is our mom and our dad, our mother and our father, the two people that conceived us, right? They are our light in this world. They are our leader, our mentor, our teacher, everything, right? And for them to, whatever it is, the dad runs away, the parents divorce, that trust is lost from the beginning? Oof. I feel like that's pretty tough for someone to bounce back. And again, I have a lot of friends who does it. I bet you everybody does, right? Half of marriage is divorce anyway. Jesus Christus. But, and so yeah, you could tell that this person has trust issues. You don't need to yell at this person. I never yelled at them, and I never called them out, and I never said anything to them, never blamed them, or never asked why, or all these different things, because I knew what was still needed was time and more effort from my side. Because that's exactly, going back to saying I was talking to Dawson, that's exactly what Dawson said. He said, keep feeding it. Keep feeding it. Keep feeding that you'll be there over and over and over and over again. And what I believe is once anything happens over and over and over again, it moves from the conscious part of the brain to the subconscious part of the brain. And when something moves to the subconscious part of the brain, it is so hard to erase. But it can, obviously, it can. But, exactly. But that's a good and a bad thing, right? So going to the divorce thing. Right now, they don't trust me. It's subconsciously written in their brain not to trust people because the two people that everybody should trust, that everybody loves, right? Like unconditional love to your parents, right? They broke your trust from the moment you were born, or whatever it was, you got older, et cetera, et cetera. So it's written in your subconscious that you should not trust people. So that's a bad thing, right? We don't want bad things to be locked into your subconscious. But here's the good side of it, is that it also can be reworked, rewrited, and erased. Just like talking about habits, right? Habits are subconscious. Habits are in our brain. We don't even know why we get up and do that, right? It's just so subconscious to us. It sucks that it's there. It sucks that it's so easy to be subconscious, and then we're basically slaves to our own brain. But we can still take the conscious act to rewrite it, to erase it, to rework it, and make a better subconscious pattern. So yeah, everybody has been through something. And going back to episode on perspective, this is going to tie into a lot of perspective, because if you understand that everybody's been through something, then you can maybe see their perspective. If you understand everyone's been through something, then when someone snips at you, or someone is just a little mean, or whatever it is, right? If whatever it is, somebody's going through something, then you can go ask them, hey man, I can tell XYZ. Could you possibly explain to me why XYZ happened, or why you think XYZ? And then there you go. You just started a dialogue. You started an open discussion, and hopefully they will be honest with you. Hopefully they'll be upfront with you and help. And then you guys can gain perspective. Maybe he'll ask you the exact same question. Why are you doing XYZ, ABC? And then you guys explain. Next thing you have a beautiful friendship. If it all starts from understanding that everybody's been through something. Life is hard. You know what? This is what I'm starting to learn about life. Maybe just like lifting, right? Just like working out, just like sports, just like, let's use those analogies. I'm starting to think that life is all about the pains. I'm starting to think that maybe life is all about the hard times. Maybe life is nothing more than a continuous fight on adversity, over and over and over again. You want to be Phil Heath, right? For those that know bodybuilding, he's 7-time Mr. Olympia, which is the prestige bodybuilding award. Let's just say Arnold. So everyone knows Arnold Schwarzenegger. You want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger? You have to go through pain. The only way for your muscles to grow is to break them down. Break them down. You have to work out. You have to have sore muscles. You have to have your belly full of food when you're bulking. You got to be like, oh my God, I'm so full. You have to go through pain when you're cutting this. Oh my God, I'm so hungry. Oh, I am so hungry, but I have to work out. Oh my God. It's just a bunch of pain. For what? The rewards at the end, right? For him to win the big prestige championship, or even the little rewards you get each day, lying your head down, knowing you did some hard freaking work. And why I was thinking about this recently was I was just sitting outside, no phones, nothing, sitting my back against a tree and observing nature. I observed the birds, I observed the squirrels, and every animal else that is in my view. And I was noticing there wasn't much playing. There wasn't much TV watching. There wasn't much family get-togethers, or et cetera, et cetera. The squirrel was running down the tree, got to the ground, grabbed his acorn, went back up, and they did it again, and again, and again. And the birds went from flower, right, the hummingbird, right, to whatever they do with flowers, or they went to the feeder, and they went back to the nest. They went to the ground, grabbed some sticks, went back to the nest. Went back to the feeder, got some food, went back to the nest. It was all a bunch of work. I can't remember which philosopher this says, but he says that work exists for 3 reasons. 1, to free us from poverty. 2, free us from boredom. And 3, to give us self-fulfillment. Free us from poverty, free us from boredom, and give us self-fulfillment. So you're probably thinking about just the one. You think work exists for one reason, to free us from poverty, right? To make money. Duh. But maybe there's more to it. There's self-fulfillment. There's purpose. There's meaning to your life through work. And work also makes us not feel bored. But here's the thing too. Work has a negative connotation. I can't remember exactly who said, but he said, oh my God, he made a new word different from work. He's like, yeah, everyone thinks it's work. It's not work. It's this for me, right? So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Think about your hobby. You never think of your hobby, or maybe some days. We all have those days, right? Again, there's always anomalies, always outliers for every situation. But your hobby, whatever you love doing, painting, making music, writing, reading, playing golf, whatever it is, right? You don't find that work. But by the definition of work, that is work. So someone says to me all the time, like, oh, you're not coming out. You don't party. You don't hang out. Why are you always working? I'm like, I only work 35 hours a week. The other 60 when I'm up, right? That's not work to me. Making a podcast, this is not work. Sometimes it seems like it, but it's really not work. Writing in my journal, not work. Making skits, not work. Doing real estate, some parts of it, I guess, but it's not work. I enjoy doing all that. Working out, it's not work. It's called working out, but it should be like, I just call it lifting because I don't think about it as work. But I also don't have a negative connotation towards the word work. I've always been a worker. My mom was talking about that, right? The old psychological debate of nature versus nurture. And she said, I don't know. There's a lot of different stuff that's nurture. And most philosophy studies and psychology studies and metaphysics have worked on the nurture side of our own individual evolutions, our own individual growings. But there's a lot to be said with the nature of an individual. And she said this to me. She's like, example for you, Marsh. She's like, you've always been a worker. You've always been a worker. You've always loved working. I probably shared this before, but the present, I got the craziest reaction. I had the craziest reaction this present in my entire life was I was like 3 or 4 years old. They got me a little tiny kid's not even working, a dirt devil vacuum cleaner, and they gave me a bucket with a mop, and I was like running around the house. I'm like, oh my God, look at what I got to use. This is so cool. And still to this day do I love cleaning. If you come to my apartment, I don't have an apartment, but you come to my place, or you come to my studio, you will see, you look at my car, you will see I like things clean. Always do. It's not work to me. Cleaning my car, I'm probably going to clean my car right after this episode because I haven't done it in a little bit. It's really not work to me. I vacuum my room. Anyone who lives with me can testify to this. I vacuum my room like 5 to 6 times a week, like no lie. I make my bed every single day. I don't think any of that stuff is work. I think it's there to free us from boredom and give us self-fulfillment. I don't know how I got on this track of work, but but what I'm getting to is that, that hard time. Oh, yeah, because yep. And I've been noticing that life is about the pains and life is about the hardships. So even though work isn't seen as right, majority of work, right? So all your hobbies, they're not seen as negative to you. They're enjoyable to you. You enjoy them. They're not necessarily work to you, but they're not sitting around, right? No hobby and no work will ever be defined as watching TV, right? It's not. Watching TV, drinking booze, smoking weed, that'll never be defined as work. That's just not work. And then that'll never be defined as a hobby. A hobby is something constructive. It's not. But sometimes hobbies can be hard because you could be sitting around hanging out with family. You could be around doing all these fun things, but you're doing these hard things. You're doing these hard things. You're doing the pain. You're taking the pain in order to get an incredible outcome. Going back to the last episode, and a positive consequences, right? A positive consequence. You're putting in these inputs of all this work. Work can be painful. It's a lot of, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot when it could just be super easy of just sitting down. But we are the only animals that I see. I know we all do, right? I know I've seen leopards and tigers eating mushrooms or whatever psychedelics in the jungle. Elephants playing in the mud. All these different things. You see little squirrels chasing each other. You always see animals playing. Animals love to play, but play is another form of hobby. Play is another form of work. It's just it's not easy on the body, right? The body's moving. It's painful on the body, but in a good way. It's a good pain. It's not necessarily a stinging pain. It's work to the body. It's work. You're making the body work. Anyway, I'm just getting to the point where I think life is about conquering pain and obstacles and adversity over and over and over and over again. And if you don't believe me, go sit by a tree, no phones, nobody around, in a park wherever you have some freedom, and just observe the animals. We are animals. We are animals. We are born animals. In my belief, you have to become human, right? But becoming human can also have a down effect because we make things too easy on ourselves. We're not doing anything no more, right? It's just so easy. You see all these kids, oh my God, these TikTok kids, man. Oh my God. Bro, I like making TikToks. I like making this podcast, but I go to school. I'm a full-time college student. I usually work. I don't have a job currently right now, but I just got done, working, 50-hour weeks. 45-hour weeks. I'm not going to hype myself up. And, always had on and off part-time jobs. We figure always doing something else. But these kids are just making videos all day, just tanning. These kids are 16, 17, 18 years old. It's like, get a freaking job. I guess right now, maybe you have the problems. I'll give you right now. I'll give you the quarantine. But no, I won't give you the quarantine, because there's so many different constructive things you could be doing. You could be writing, you could be reading, you could be making music, you could be writing poems, you could be, spending time with friends, you could be working out, you could be working on your sport, right? You could be out in your garage, in your driveway, working on your sport. Yeah, you can't be in the gym working on your sport. We can do whatever, man. You could be sitting there reading. You could be looking up online, doing Google, like, oh, I'm going to college next year. I'm going to go to college for, business finance. I'm going to study a shit ton of finance. So when I enter my freshman year of college, I will know basically a junior level. I will have a junior level of understanding on financing. Yeah. Boom. Yeah. All right. Called y'all. Oh, going back to last episode, I'm holding y'all accountable. But it's just, we just make things so easy. And we think it's, oh my God, I hate, I've heard this so many times. Just, I don't know. I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. Like, really? And the only thing is, to me, my work, this right now is really fun to me. I just want to have fun too, but I have fun by doing constructive things. Sitting down, tanning, drinking your White Claws, driving your Jeeps, texting 20 guys, and spending daddy's money. Yeah, that's your definition of fun. And there's no work involved. There's no effort involved. Let's say that, right? I don't work all day. I do a lot of effort all day, and I really enjoy giving the effort, because the effort doesn't always have to be physical. I'm not moving cement stones all day. I did that and that wore me out. If I was moving cement stones for 16 hours a day, yeah, you would only make it for 4. You would never be able to do all 16. That's a lot of physical effort. But you can, go work out for an hour and then come in and read, and then go out in the yard and do yard work, and then, come back inside and study financing, whatever you need to do, take it on and off. It doesn't always have to be physical effort, it can be mental effort, which I guess is physical, but still, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be physical labor in order to say you're working, air quotes, or you're putting in effort, air quotes. Yeah. So, and then another example, I heard when I was listening to the Ear Biscuits, and it sparked what I was going to talk about here today. The reason it solidified, and I'm like, yes, I'm going to talk about this, because it actually happened really recently. The other day, I was not bored. I actually had a lot going on, but I saw something that needed to be done, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to help this person out. I'm going to do this thing. And so I did this thing for them, and I didn't enjoy doing this for them. I really felt like I was going to help them out. Lo and behold, they were not happy that I did such a thing. And they blew up at me. They let me know how they were feeling, and they were very, very, very upset. I could tell. And even worse, matters worse, they texted me this. And I don't know if you know anything about texting, right? The tonalities and nonverbal cues, they're not picked up over texting. Do not text something important. When you have a conversation with somebody, do not, like, you know what I'm saying? A very important conversation, do not text them. Do not call them, FaceTime them, and let them hear your voice. Let them hear the tonalities. Let them know, let them look at you and see, are you coming off sarcastic, or you just like, hey man, you shouldn't have done that, or et cetera, versus, you text me that, you go, hey man, you shouldn't have done that. That's exactly how someone's going to perceive it. You may have texted it, hey man, you shouldn't have done that. But how I'm going to read it is, hey man, you shouldn't have done that, right? But if you would have called me, FaceTime me, you would have had it. Anyway, I handled it very well, which I'm very proud of myself. Pat on the back, Marshal. I kept my calm, very calm. I kept going, I was just trying to help out. Honest apologies. I totally misunderstood what you wanted from me. Again, I was just trying to help out. It's a sincere apology. Honest mistake, will not happen again. And I just kept my cool. Over and over again, because I knew that this person was going through something. There was a reason this person was acting out like this, right? I did something to help somebody out. I didn't hurt nobody, right? I did a really helpful act. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, I did a really helpful act, and they were upset by it, but I could tell they were going through something. There was something in their mind that was making them act this way or come across as very aggravated. There's a reason they were doing that. So I said, hey, everybody goes through something. Everybody's going through something. There's a reason why people act that way. Talked about it many times before too on the podcast, is when someone does that, right? Which I didn't do that because I kind of knew what this person was going through. So I just, kept my cool and then left it. And lo and behold, the next day or 2 days later, they called me and apologized. They apologized for their their role in the conversation in this whole scenario. And I was like, hey, totally understand it, totally get it. And again, I was so happy that happened, and I was so happy that, nothing was said from either party because, they were already heated, right? So they're bringing fire. I come with water. They bring some more fire. I bring more water. They bring a little bit more fire, and I just completely extinguish the fire with all the water, right? If they would come with that fire and I shoot back with fire, and then now I add it to their heat, and now they're even more heated. Now I'm even more heated. Now they're more heated, back and forth, right? Fire and fire. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, right? You need to bring light. You need to bring light to that darkness. You need to bring water to that fire. So in this scenario, again, I knew what there was going on with them. But if you're just walking down the street and somebody says something to you, or you're at a party and someone says something to you, or whatever, whatever it is, you're working at a gas station or fast food service line, whatever it is, and somebody's snippy with you, there's a reason they're doing that. Maybe they had a really bad day. Maybe their mom just died. Maybe they know their car's about to get repoed and their house is about to get foreclosed on. You just never know. We've all been through something, and like I was saying in the beginning of the episode, I don't like people to use that to minimize things, right? We've all been through stuff, so I don't really care what you want to say, right? Oh, your boyfriend left you? Oh my God. Well, my dad died, right? My grandpa got shot and murdered. Like, come on. Like, this is a very subjective. It's still real to everybody else. There may be one person in this world whose biggest problem that they've ever had is they didn't get into the college that they wanted to, right? But that was probably really, really real to them. Right? You go, oh my God, whoa, you didn't get into Yale. Oh, baby. Like, I don't even have a pot to piss in. Yeah, that sucks for you too, man. I feel really, hey, shoot, can I do anything to help you out? But don't be bashing on this person because they feel the problems that they're going through are really, really hurtful. Like, it really sucks. Their life is very painful at this time. It's all subjective. So leave everybody alone. We've all been through something. And again, that leads to gaining perspective. When we all understand that everyone's gone through something, we can be that fire. We can be, when we understand that everyone's been through something, we can be that water and we can be that light. So when they come with that darkness, they come with that fire, we can put them out, right? Or light them or bring light to their darkness. And then we can get into a conversation. Maybe help them out. Maybe really understand and really, get to the point and understand why are they feeling this way? Why are they feeling this way? And if you ask yourself, why, Marshall? Why should we do that? Wouldn't you want someone to do the same for you? If you snipped at somebody that you really didn't want to, and now everybody hates you, right? You're going through Starbucks, and you snipped at the barista, just snipped, just whatever, and then all the other people in the inside heard you. Now they all hate you, think you're a dickbag, but you're really not. Wouldn't you have liked that barista to come with you and be like, hey, oh, I'm sorry, is everything okay? Are you having a good day? Because I sure as hell will. Jesus, I sure as hell will. And if this time that we're going through right now, this 2020, this COVID, this again, R.I.P. George Floyd, if this time has not taught you anything, we need to love. We need to be positive. We need to be optimistic. We need to encourage. Maybe if we didn't discourage people so often and we're so negative. And I think these riots and this loitering is an exact example of this. That people just love this mob mentality and they love to discourage. They love to just destroy, whether it's a physical building or it's somebody's career. Oh, you said one thing. You said one thing wrong on the air. Let's destroy you. Let's mess you up. Let's end you. Let's cancel you. This whole cancel culture stuff, right? We don't need that. Fire only brings more fire. You cannot drive out darkness with darkness. Only light. Be that light. Be that water. And understand that we all have been through something. Not to minimize our own suffering, but to unite us. To gain perspective. To develop an understanding. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it so much. And like always, until next time, take care, my friends. Hey guys, thanks for listening to today's show. It means a lot to me. I hope you have found something to take away from the show today. Remember, AudioSmilez smiles with a Z on social media. Marshal Kramer for all my personals. Thanks again for listening, guys. Talk to y'all next time.